The ancient Egyptians kept meticulous records of their history, culture, and daily lives, leaving us with detailed information about what it was like to live in this sophisticated civilization. Welcome to my channel. And today, let's find out what a day in the life of an ancient Egyptian looked like. Ancient Egyptian society was highly stratified with a well-defined social structure. At the top of the pyramid were the pharaohs, who were considered divine rulers. Below them were the priests, who played a crucial role in religious rituals and ceremonies. Scribes were highly respected for their ability to read and write. They managed record-keeping, including important documents and tax records. Artisans, including metalworkers, stonemasons, and weavers, created goods for the wealthy elite and for export. Farmers made up the majority of the population, and their work was essential to the prosperity of the kingdom. Unfortunately, there were also slaves in ancient Egypt, many of whom were captured during warfare or were the descendants of prisoners. On an average day, the pharaoh would attend to his royal duties, which included maintaining order in the kingdom, overseeing construction projects such as the pyramids and temples, and leading military campaigns when necessary. Priests would perform religious ceremonies, offer sacrifices to the gods, and serve in the temples. Scribes would manage administrative tasks, record important events, and keep track of the kingdom's finances. Artisans would work in their workshops producing goods for the elite and for trade. Farmers would tend to their crops, raise livestock, and produce goods for local markets. Slaves would perform labor-intensive tasks under the supervision of their masters. Egyptians believed that the river Nile would overflow its banks each year, resulting in fertile land for farming and an abundance of food. This reliable flooding led to a settled agricultural way of life along the river. Ancient Egyptian meals consisted of bread, vegetables, fruit, and occasionally meat or fish. They enjoyed a variety of fruits, including dates, figs, grapes, and pomegranates. Their staple grain was wheat, but they also consumed barley and flax. The ancient Egyptians kept their grains ground into flour and baked into loaves of bread. They also appreciated the versatility of papyrus, using it not only for writing, but also for making boats. Boats were essential for transportation and trade along the Nile River. The annual flooding of the Nile forced the Egyptians to develop boats for travel and trade. Skilled boat builders crafted vessels from materials like cedar wood and papyrus reeds. These boats were used for transporting goods and people up and down the river, facilitating trade and communication between different parts of the kingdom. The ancient Egyptians lived in a variety of housing, depending on their social status. The pharaohs resided in grand palaces, while the elite lived in houses made of mud, brick, or stone. Commoners lived in simple homes made of wood or reeds. Most families were quite large, with multiple generations living together under one roof. Family members shared meals, stories, and traditions, and there was a strong emphasis on respecting elders. Ancient Egyptians were polytheistic, believing in a pantheon of gods and goddesses. Some of the most prominent deities include Ra, the sun god, Osiris, the god of the underworld, and Horus, the sky god. Religion played a central role in daily life, and people would visit temples to worship the gods and participate in religious festivals. One of the most significant aspects of ancient Egyptian religion was the preservation of the body after death through mummification. Mummies were created by removing internal organs, dehydrating the body, and wrapping it in layers of cloth or linen. The process was not only meant to preserve the body, but also to help the deceased person's soul in its journey into the afterlife. The ancient Egyptians kept domesticated animals, including cats, dogs, geese, and cattle. They kept pet cats, which were believed to bring good luck and protect homes from pests. Dogs were used as herders and for guarding property. Geese were kept for their meat and feathers, while cattle were domesticated for milk and leather. Ancient Egyptians engaged in various forms of trade, both within their own kingdom and with neighboring civilizations. They traded goods such as grain, textiles, gold, and ivory with Mesopotamia, the Levant, and the Indus Valley. The ancient Egyptians had a sophisticated system of weights and measures, which they used to ensure fair trade practices. They had a standardized system of units for measuring length, volume, and mass, which helped in the buying and selling of goods. The ancient Egyptians built large-scale structures such as the pyramids and temples using advanced engineering techniques. They developed a system of ramps and levers to move heavy stones, and they also used copper tools for cutting and shaping materials. Ancient Egyptians enjoyed various games and sports, including a game similar to backgammon, wrestling, and swimming. Music played an important role in ancient Egyptian culture, and they had a variety of instruments, including harps, flutes, and drums. Musicians performed at festivals, in temples, and in the royal courts. Storytelling was another form of entertainment, and there was a rich tradition of oral literature. People gathered around and listened to tales of gods, heroes, and everyday life. This was just a glimpse into the daily life of ancient Egyptians. It is fascinating to explore their customs, traditions, and achievements. And there is much more to discover about this ancient civilization. Thank you for watching.